for people to show up, but then I'm like, wait a second, this will be a recording. So I better say something in the outset. Hi, I'm Tanya. I'm your transformation alchemist, and this is a new video for YouTube. We're going to start today and we're going to check in with the collective. We're going to check in with the cards and do an extended reading. So if you'd like to see what's coming up for you right now, come and hang out with us. We'll talk about a variety of things. The collective that I'm building is a collective of light workers, star beings, star seeds, anyone that is in that space of a mystic, a healer, somebody who is going through their awakening journey or healing trauma. This is an absolute safe space where everybody is invited. There is no division, there is no hate. So if that's something that appeals to you, then stick around and hang out with us. I'm not sure which decks of cards are going to get used today or where the message is going to go, but what I want to check in on is what the energy is that's coming up right now. Good morning. Good morning. I love you guys. And I'm actually going to use the 7 energies oracle. So we'll check in with the energy specifically from that deck, and we'll see what else doesn't come up. We might hit some tarot cards. We might, well, we're definitely going to have conversation. We're going to be having conversation. Ooh, the uncharted sea. And that is the energy right now, right? Right now, we're in this unknown space, right? And when we think of the election that just happened, this is where the US is, right? Aww, definitely bring her in. We'll give lots of love to her. So this can be that feeling, and I'm going to use the current politics or the current environment of the politics as an example of this card. So right now it's in that uncharted sea. The vote has been made, but the person isn't in presidency yet, right? So this is that space. We don't know what's coming, right? And I see a lot of us right now, and a lot of people out there, not a lot of us. I think the ones that are here don't resonate in that way. But I see a lot of people out there being very polarized and divided, and also foreseeing a future that is fearful. And that is one of the reasons why I actually criticized what Daryl Anka, aka Bashar, came forward with in his channeling, is because the message that he gave has the potential to instill fear and or to create division, and we don't do that. Like the messages that we're channeling, when we're channeling from source, when we're channeling from that space. And I mean, Bashar is a extraterrestrial entity that like is an ET that that is channeled by Daryl. So I mean, what is their view of things and how they want things to go, right? You never know. So just this is that space of that uncharted sea, in that unknown space. So what can you do? Well, the best thing that you can do is try to focus on what you want to see, right? What do you want to see in the future? And I see so many people, like it's absolutely blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. And this card, oh my God, guys, I have chills. And my guides are like, this is the perfect card. And it always is, right? 1122. D. I love this. I love the soul family here. You guys are amazing. And you light up my world. You're light workers. You're lighting up the grid. This card, endless possibilities. We have endless possibilities in front of us. Why focus on the negative? And you see people who are considered to be like mindset coaches, like powerful mindset coaches. And, you know, or who work in areas where they talk about manifestation. 444 on the time, our angels are in the door. So if you're somebody who is a manifestation or a mindset coach, wouldn't the message that you should be distributing to society right now to be focused on the future you want to see before you, not focusing on doom and gloom predictions? And there's been so much of that ever since. It's been just, oh my God, everybody hates everybody. We're polarized and divided more than before. And I'm not even an American. um, there's that polarizing and division, and there's so much hate, and people coming forward with, we're going to stop having these connections now. And we're seeing this future in this way. Don't look in that way. You have endless possibilities in front of you. There's so many things in front of you. That's why predicting the future, like when people predict the future, it's a chance. You're rolling the dice. It is a bit of chance. And because all the variables have to fall in place, and if one thing is not the same that they predicted at that time, then the future is going to be completely different. So there's endless possibilities. If you think of it, those books that you had where they said you could have like different stories and different endings, because you would read a chapter and then it would say, if you think that this, A, B, C, D, or whatever, you would go to a different chapter and read that particular part. Good morning, gorgeous. That is the endless possibilities concept. At any point in time, if that choice doesn't get made, if that person doesn't stay that direct course, this is a potential outcome, or this is a potential outcome, or that's a potential outcome. So we have endless possibilities. But the thing that you can do to help yourself is that you can direct your light towards the future that you want to see, and you can get other people who want that same vision. So here we like to vision a future that is beautiful, where there is no division, where there is no hate, there's no borders, there's no reason to, because we recognize each other as human beings. We stop this competition and competitiveness and consumerism and the capitalistic greedy society. There's more slaves today than there has been ever before, right? So in the name of a Tesla, or in the name of your phone, I'm not exempt from this. I do try to watch my footprint, and I definitely changed my consumerism a lot in my awakening process. But unfortunately, this is the device that I need in order to create that message or get that message out there or to help people. So I have to use it. Hi, Sherry. So we have the largest number of slaves that we've ever had before. We just don't have them on our soil, in our faces, right? We have slaves in other countries where they are mining the resources that they have so that we can drive a Tesla or we can have a phone. There's so many better ways that we could run our lives and better ways that society could function. And those of us that are here, I think we're focusing on that type of a future. So how can I elevate my vibration and live the healthiest life? Because that helps everybody else too. The healthier that I am, the healthier choices that I make, the healthier interactions I have, and it just builds from there. And I use the little example of, let's say, a kid approaches you to help them find a lost ball. They need help. They lost their ball over the fence, and they ask you. You can respond to that in a multitude of different ways. But if you do it in the highest good of you, or the highest good of the collective, then you're probably going to respond kindly, and you're going to do something that is nice for the child and help him, right? You would take time and you would just help the child get their ball back, right? And that's gonna create a totally different energy, a totally different future moment out of that space because of that interaction. Now, if you're in there and you're like, scram, kid, well, that's going to change the dynamic too. Like, that kid experiences that entirely different. So your choices, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, the way you interact with people creates your future. So if you're going to be a mindset or a manifestation coach or even a spiritual teacher in any way, right now, the last thing that you should be talking about is anything that involves more division, more hate, or doom and gloom prophesizing. That was a challenging word to get around. I love this card. Into me I see. So for those of us that are here, and this is a cue for humanity too, look inside of yourself. I was putting out the messages a little while now about who put the hate in your heart, right? Who put the hate in there? Right? Many people are like, oh, like I don't trust Russians, or I don't, this or that, or I think a person is this way, or I think a person is that way. But they've never interacted with them. And I'm somebody who sits in a dynamic. I am a multitude of different cultures, but I am Mohawk, and it's part of my ancestry that I love. Um, I am status, and I don't look Mohawk necessarily. Like, people wouldn't look at me, they would say that. I mean, I've been called a white woman. You're just a white woman. You really can't speak on these topics. You're just a white woman. And I'm like, but I'm not. I'm not just a white woman, and you're not just a white person, or you're not just a black person, or you're so much beyond that. You're so much beyond your color. You're so much beyond your culture. You're so much beyond so many things. Like, there's so many facets that make you you, least of all the color of your skin. And when you're a spiritual teacher, I hope that you've stepped into the space the space of recognizing that you are a light being. You are energy. You are a constant. You are a forever. Right? Your energy just transfers. There's no real death. The thing that dies is the physical body, but your soul, your spirit, it continues on. It's eternal. So in that sense, I'm light. I'm not white. And you're light. You're not whatever color you are. We're light beings that are having a physical incarnation that at a different point in time would have took a different body. We would have took a different form. We would have experienced a different life somewhere else in a different suit, because we want to have all those different experiences. So as a spiritual teacher, I see the divine in you, and I hope you see the divine in me. And in the divine, this stuff is not important. This is not relevant. And the hate that is becoming so, you step back and you see it for what it is. You see it that it's like a puppet show, and there's the side over here that is creating fear and hate towards these groups, like they've been doing our whole lives. Hate everybody. But where did the hate come from? It's somebody telling you you should hate this person, or this culture is this specific way, or women are weaker than men. What was it for me as an Indigenous person, as part Indigenous? A lot of the stuff that used to hurt so much was hearing how many people referred to the Indigenous as lazy. And my heart went out to the whole community, because you can't even fathom the amount of trauma that community experienced in Canada alone. Could you imagine, for all of you that are not Native American, or had anything to do with residential schools, could you imagine if you're a parent that you're at home and your child's at the park with his friends, and a vehicle shows up with government officials, and they grab your kids and they throw them in the car and they take them away to a residential school? Because that's how the scoop happened. The scoop was not, I knock on your door, hello, we have this residential school that we think that your children should go to. Would you like them to? None of that. Right? So when you took the culture, and then they went to these schools and they faced like extreme atrocities. And these atrocities included a lot of abuse in all forms and murder. There's thousands of children buried in Canada. because of residential schools and the traumas they experienced. And people will say to the Native community, get over it, get over it. Do they say that to the Jewish community? Just get over the Holocaust, just get over it. So my heart bleeds for, and doesn't. I'm not to cancel, cancel, cancel. That's not a good space to put. That's not a good thing to say. That's not a good thing to bring into your space. So we're just gonna, we're just gonna cancel that. Cancel cleared. That's the work that you have to do. See, I'm not above you guys. We all sit at the same table, right? We all sit at the same table. So I'm not above you. I still have to catch myself when I say those things too. But there is understanding, there is compassion, and you can understand if you took back, right? If you took your child away and they knew nothing about your culture, nothing about your language, they everything, and they gave them back to you, these children feel like aliens in their own homes. They feel, and the families are broken, and the language has been severed, and the culture has been disconnected. There's trauma. It's not that, and they're not lazy anyway. It's not even that. I think it's just so sad that people can't see it for what it is. They see it for what they're told, which goes back to who put the hate in your heart, who put the viewpoint in your heart that that person is that way, without sitting down and having a dialogue about why you are that way. But what happens is they polarize and divide, and then they show you the extremes, right? And there are extremes on each side. No one is better than the other. No one. There are extremes on both sides. So when the Democrats win, they will show you the extreme Republicans. When the Republicans win, they will show you the extreme Democrats. The majority of people sit in the middle of that space, and they want the same things. They want safety, they want freedom, they want love, they want to have enough resources, they want to have healthy food, water, they want to have, these beautiful things, be able to take a trip once in a while, not have to, slave away to have most of their money in taxes. There's so many reasons why people made these choices. But actually sit down and have a dialogue. I feel like I'm kind of confused, because I'm like, if my best friend and I, let's say we voted differently, I would feel like asking like having a dialogue and saying, like, what made you make the decision that you made? Like, what made you vote for that particular party? I would have a conversation like that. Because I know my best friend, and I love my best friend. I know her morals. I know her ethics. I know she's not racist. I know she's not a misogynist. I know she's not a bigot or whatever, camp it is. I know those things about her because she's my best friend, and I love her, and I see her, and I know her. Like, it's not like it's all of a sudden, surprise. I've been hiding this in the closet for years now, right? No, so I don't understand why just suddenly someone made a decision and you cancel them out of your life and decide they're not a part of your life anymore, even though you love them and you have a beautiful relationship throughout your whole entire life. So into me, I see, like, what do you see inside yourself, right? Are you somebody, and this goes to the whole religion thing too. Right? It's the same way. It's when that person stands up there stands on Christianity or something like that, and as they stand there, they're filled with hate and judgment, right? And they're like you're a window dressing. Your religion is a window dressing. Like, in your heart, you're not operating under the way that God would want you to. Right? You're like, that's not what, like, how, there's not supposed, like, in the name of religion, there's so much hate, there's so much death, and that's not what God would have ever wanted. God doesn't want us hating each other. He doesn't want us fighting each other. He doesn't want us killing each other. Right? It's just, yeah, it's just so sad. And you're like, were we ever truly friends when that happens? But this is a call for us to look in our hearts and ask ourselves, like, really, who put the hate there? And is it true? Or are we going to sit down and have a dialogue and say, why did you make the choices that you made? Can we come to the table on this? Can we come and sit down and understand, like, why did you make those choices from a space of, I'm just trying to understand. And when you get down to it and they say, because I feel like this, and they explain their stuff, you're going to be like, well, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. I can understand why you made that choice because you saw it in that way, and I can understand how you saw it because I had a conversation with you. I didn't just assume that I know why you made it, and I've just totally torn apart who I think you are as a person to believe that you did this decision because of something like being a racist, someone that I've loved for years. I didn't know that. A surprise. I don't, like, I just, anyway. So this stuff will fade away at some time. Yes, pure love. So into me I see. It's time to look into yourself. And when we can address it, those triggers are just telling you where you've got to do some work, right? When you start becoming reactionary, when you start having emotions disproportionate to what the situation is calling for, that is you in your reactionary state. So I'm going to pause for a minute. I know most of the people here are probably people that know me and follow me and hang out with me a lot. I am a nurse of over 20 years who retired from nursing after I went through, burnout and breakdown, which was actually a breakthrough. The thing that created that whole rolling ball out of the medical system was that I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and I got really sick quite quickly. Was to the point where they had been suggesting a wheelchair. When I took the time off from work, which was a very toxic, overly overburdened position as the director of nursing and part of senior management team. So I helped run a hospital in long-term care, and I had a lot of responsibilities, so the job was really demanding. And also a lot of my traumas and not working through those, stored energy, chronic stress, chronic fight, flight, freeze, disassociate, the same as all the rest of us. Eating the wrong foods, doing the wrong things, staring at the wrong stuff, consuming the wrong information, staying toxic, staying in victim mind, scarcity, lack, fear. That was me. Okay, so a lifetime of being made a victim at a very young age and keeping that and holding that mantle and making that my story. That's what ended up with my cortisol levels being elevated for so long and all this other stuff that I ended up with these diagnoses and why I ended up getting sick. So I took time off, and when I did, then because I stopped running, is what I like to say, because it was go, 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 do, 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 be, 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 like just going and going and going. Because I was running away from my trauma. I was what it was called I had high functioning anxiety. So I would make myself feel better with my anxiety by thinking and doing things and keeping busy, which is what many of us are in. The people that are in the hustle, 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 a lot of them are in the drive of high functioning anxiety. You can have high functioning depression too. All high functioning means is that you're able to work while having anxiety and depression. That's the high function. Right? You haven't taken time off work because of your anxiety or depression. So once I stopped running, my nervous system went, okay, now we're going to start to process through some of these emotions, which I have dubbed the breakdown part, because it's like you have to hit that rock bottom. So when I went through my healing journey, I was the director of nursing. I was part of the senior management team. I worked closely with physicians, and I had a really close relationship with my doctor. I do recall earlier on, before with my doctor, there were times when he had done the anxiety or the depression scale on me, and he would say something like, oh, that's too low of a score, not going to make any money off you today, because he couldn't prescribe me a medication. So anyway, Then when I went through this, I ended up in a space where it was through the traditional medicine system. Here's your medications, here's your psychologist, here's your thought, right? Keep it in it's let's go talk about it. Let's do a top-down approach. After a year and a half, I wasn't getting any better, and so I decided to take my own health into my hands, and I advocated to go off all my medications one at a time under the guide of my team. I did everything in that year. I did group programming, I did CBT, I did DBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy, dialectical behavioral therapy. I had one on one with a psychologist, one on one with a psychiatrist. Because of the MS, I also had a neuropsychiatrist. I had rehab, occupational health therapy, physiotherapy, because I had been previously diagnosed with the MS. It's not my truth now. I know I saw the 1144 too, Richard. So, and when I started removing the medications, because I felt like my brain was chemical soup and the panic attacks and anxiety wasn't alleviating. I was still stuck in this cycle. So I advocated for that. And as I removed medication after medication, I realized that I had not been even, I didn't feel any different. I didn't feel any different. So I got rid of them all. And that's when I started making other changes. I changed my diet. I did a social media cleanse. Like, I went off social media for quite some time. And when I came back on social media, I recreated a whole entire new profile because I did not resonate with who I used to be. I did so much work with being present in the moment and letting go of the things that had happened in my past, letting go of the emotions that were stored in my body through somatic experiencing. I decided to become an expert in what I was diagnosed with, which essentially was trauma. Everything I had was a consequence of childhood trauma. I received a diagnosis of functional neurological disorder, which was a disorder, which is, I guess it's still a disorder, it's not mine, but in the disorder, it is where your nervous system wires incorrectly. So when you process stress, instead of stress coming out in certain ways, stress manifests as something different. So this is people who suddenly go blind, but their eyes, like the actual eye, the way that it functions, the rods, the cones, all of that is working perfectly. So there's nothing wrong physically, but they can't see. It's the wiring is crisscrossed in the brain. So they're so overwhelmed with stress that they believe, because of the belief system, that they have that disorder, but there's no physical link to it. So I worked through all of this. I did a bunch of different things and decided to leave my nursing career and start my own company, which is Mind, Body, Spirit Health. I took the trauma education that I learned from Gabor Mate, Peter Levine, Stephen Porges, all the experts in the trauma field, and then I combined it with my healthy natural practices of reducing the toxins that are in your environment in the ways that you can, cleaning up your diet, not eating a high processed diet, not consuming fear and negativity in the things that you're watching, right? I don't watch, like, I try not to. I watch one drama right now, but it's only because I'm with my mom. So we have this one show we watch together, and when I'm not living with my mom, I'm not gonna be there. Aw, Sherry, I'm so happy you're here. Let's send a whole bunch of light in there. You know what the best thing is about when we experience the darkness? So the shadow is actually the absorption of light. So I like to think that when we go into our shadow and we do the work, that's how we access our power, and that's how we really turn our light on, right? When you stare at it and you say, like, you don't have power over me anymore. I see you for what you are. Whether you can align with that process in the way of, I made these choices to experience these traumas so that I could grow and expand in such a way, on this earth. And even though they're terrible experiences, I I wanted to do that. I wanted to grow my soul, because you can't grow your soul in, it's like the lotus. It grows through the muck, right? The phoenix is birthed out of the ashes. And if nothing was ever difficult or challenging or opposing in any way, where would be the growth, right? It's that, right? Oh, Sherry is. I feel that with Sherry too. Absolutely. Right? But know that for one, that you have a beautiful, beautiful space here where you are seen and held and supported and welcomed very much. I honor anyone that's on their healing journey. I know what it's like. I absolutely know what it's like to go through that. The awakening journey as well can be quite a challenge too. Here is a place of no division, no hate. It's just, this is about love and peace. And, if we want to talk about light, the light is you. The light is you. You bring the light. And if you've forgotten what your light is, come here and we'll remind you. We'll remind you. We'll turn it on for you. We'll turn it on. And this is only a part of it. If you want, we have the Mind, Body, Spirit Healthy Collective, which is where we go and we hang out in Zoom so we can actually talk to one another. And the work that we do in that group is absolutely amazing. At some point, I'll probably have it so that you can be on the group as a subscription through YouTube, as well as like one of those tier things that'll just immediately give you access to the group, and I'll stream to both. So people can just join through YouTube if they don't want to join the actual community on my website. Things like, but I'd probably bring you into the community through a YouTube subscription. It would just merge it over. So this other card that came out is it is what it is. And I love that card because some people hate that statement, but it really is like it's facts. It is what it is. And one of the things I did on my healing journey, and I talk about this in some of the content that I do in other videos, I said to myself that I was just going to start to focus on what are the facts. A lot of the stuff that we do is make assumptions, right? And the reason why we make assumptions is because as an individual, and it's based in the reptilian brain and our fear center, right? Our brain just wants to keep us safe. Like it just wants to keep us safe. So its concern is basic survival in a lot of ways. And yes, we have our higher, the newer brain, as they would call it. We have our reptilian brain, we have our mammalian brain, and then we have the current space where we have as humans. So yes, great suggestion, Dee. That is a beautiful song. But the facts are the facts. If we stop assuming things and we just go with what is, we're in such a better place. But our assumptions were there because as a child, especially if you're in like an abusive space, right? As a child, if my dad started yelling and I know that when my dad yells, I'm going to get hit, well, then it makes sense that when I hear someone yelling, I assume I'm going to get hit and I back away a little bit so that they can't reach me. I get some distance. Or I disassociate, so if they do hit me, I'm not really going to feel it the way that I would if I was completely connected to my physical space. We do that to protect ourselves, but when we stay in that state, it doesn't help us. And as adults, when we spend so much time in the assumption state, then we begin to create our own problems for ourselves because we assume in the negative. We very seldom, when we're in our healing, and when we're in the unhealed space, we very seldom look at things from the positive and assume the positive is going to happen. And that's the big shift. And that's why one of the things that we do in the collective is we call people out. We call people out on that on changing their language and the way that they see the world, like getting in. And it's not about false positivity. It's not about that. If something is going wrong in your life and it does, and say you lost your job, my suggestion for anybody that recently just lost their job would be to hold space for themselves, that job isn't there, to look at what are the different things that they can do going forward to get employment again, right? Is solution, and is validating and holding space for yourself, like validate the future, like look at it, accept it. This is the truth. But then shift from that to the space that you want to be in, which is to move forward. And it's funny when people will say that they're afraid of losing their job, and you talk to them and you're like, why are you afraid of losing your job? And I don't know, I just have a feeling. And it's like, well, if you're a bad employee, because I was an employer, if you're a bad employee, that's when I'm going to terminate you. So if you're not a bad employee, there's no reason for you to fear that. So, but if you do know, say somebody's, been causing trouble for you at work and the management's buying into it, or if you know that your attendance has been really bad and you're on the attendance management thing and you're eventually going to get terminated because of poor attendance, you have the foresight. You're saying, I fear I'm going to get fired. So accept the fact that there are things that have happened, whether it's attendance or whether it's, lies, or whether it's truly you just did bad stuff at work, like you messed up, right? You made mistakes. And we don't like really bad and like qualifying things, right? You're going through an experience. We've got orbs in the room. Just accept it for that, acknowledge it. What can you learn from it? How can you grow from it? And while you have a job, go get another one because you have foresight. Don't let it happen and go to the place where you're unemployed before you do something to change it, right? So it's the same thing if you're in a relationship. If you're like, oh my God, I think my partner's going to leave me. I think he's going to leave me, like he's going to leave me. Well, why are you thinking that? What is it about your relationship that's making you think about that? And if that's the case, well then how can you rectify whatever the issue is? And if it's something that can't be rectified, then let it go because it's not for you. It's not for you. Let it go. And validate that that's, there's going to be a period of grief. There's going to be a period of healing that's going to need to occur. So it is what it is. We need to move to that, especially as adults. We need to get to the space where we can look at the facts and not get into that assumption where we start to make those problems for us. So I decided I was going to grab some of the good tarot, and we'll see what else is coming up for us collectively and what messages that my guides want you to hear. Oh, hi. I'm gonna pull that over so I can see. Oh, yay! Yay! Which province are you in? You're in Alberta? Are you in Alberta with Sherry? Yes. Aww. I love that. I said I used to turtle as a child, which is for me. I'm Turtle Clan for Mohawk too, but it's just, turtling as a child. You're in Alberta. Yeah, I'm in Ontario living with my mom right now, trying to get back out to Alberta. I don't have to be here to live with, I don't have to live with my mom. That's not, no. Right. Right. Ooh, we've got the Eight of Air. The Eight of Air is the Eight of Swords. I love it. The Eight of Air is that whole perspective shift, right? Sometimes we're blinded by the information in front of us, or we think that we're stuck or stalled, like we're in that space. There's something that we need to move beyond. We maybe even are looking at our thinking patterns, what's being stuck, right? How are we stuck in how we're thinking? I can't wait to get the laptop to work for my thing, so I'm sending you so much love. So how can you look at that as a blessing? Because I'm going to tell you, when I first came and stayed with my mom, it was a challenge. And my mom and I really, we have a trauma story, right? My mom and I, we have a really complicated story. There's a lot of history there, a lot of things that she did when she was raising me that created the traumas. So And, you know, I worked with my mom for a while before, and then I left and I went to Costa Rica. And when I came back, my mom wasn't the same as when I'd left, and it was really challenging in the beginning. Um, it took me a while, but I started to shift my energy. I started to shift my energy into the space of asking myself, like, there's a reason why I'm here, and I feel like maybe I'm meant to help my mom in some way. Maybe I'm meant to heal our relationship right now, more so than we went. And when we now, like, we went on a little bit of a journey. We went down to we went down to the East Coast to visit my grandsons and her grandbabies, great grandbabies, and we came back. And after that, I decided to make a complete and utter change. And I said, no more negativity. I'm going to start sending out love towards people, no matter what's happening. If my son called me and he went through this nasty, like this, well, I'm not, let's not, we're going to not qualify it. He had an experience, and the experience that he had, my mom was like, oh my God, I'm so worried about him. And I'm like, that's not going to help him. Instead of being worried, send him blessings, send him, abundance, send him love. Send him all of the good energy so that you can impact his life in a beautiful way. We're so powerful, and we can access so much energy through the quantum field. Have you never had that, where someone said that they're going to pray for you, and you feel that kind of that beautiful energy? Because time is an illusion. So when they say that they're going to do it, the prayer is happening. Even if they're not doing it right now. But my mom and I now, like, I've seen my mom shift so much. I've seen her raise up so much with her vibration, and making healthier choices. And I'm just loving, like, our relationship. Like, my mom swung by today, and she's like, she brought me a pack of markers because I was looking for a purple marker. I have these fine point markers in all the colors, but there's no purple. And I was like, man, there's no purple. And my mom went and bought me a pack of gel pens, and that are a whole bunch of different colors, right? So that I could have purple. And my mom supports me in mentally and emotionally and spiritually. Like, so to see our relationship change, I wouldn't have had that if I wasn't with her. And I think about how I spent the last 13 years, almost 14 years, living in Alberta. We didn't get to spend a lot of time together. I would come home every year and spend a week or two here, but I didn't spend the week or two living at my mom's. I would stay at my brother's house, and I would see my mom a couple of times when I was home. So this has been really positive. It's been really, really positive and helpful and healing for both of us. And, so if you can look at that time and that experience that you're getting with your mom as a blessing. And if you want to do some work on the mother wounds, it's called the Divine Feminine right now because I've been really lazy with changing the title, but it is not just exclusive to women. It is now called Sacred Union, because it is all about rising together. We have to work on both of our men and women, or however you identify. Every spirit has masculine and feminine energy. The men who identify as men need to connect to that feminine energy, just like the feminine energy needs to reconnect, because we need to have both. We have to have both. If we don't have that, if we're not connected to our divine energy, our divine feminine energy, we are not compassionate, we are not nurturing, especially towards the planet. So we got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is Taurus energy. The Hierophant is also a very spiritual card. This is about a spiritual awakening. This is us rising. I see it as us very much rising. Oh, I love your feminine energy, right? Nothing is in for all the men that catch on this, 444 on there, but any man that catches this now or in the replay that, you know, is in, you know, is into, whatever you're into, doesn't matter. But nothing's better than a masculine that embodies his feminine energy. That is so sexy. It is so healing. It is so just, it has such a different, when I think about that energy that the man displays, it's such a beautiful feeling. Same thing with a female who embodies her feminine energy, but also holds beautiful space with her masculine energy. It is so beautiful, right? When we are in our essence, when we are in our beautiful space, which for me, you know, it's a I like to think of it like a spectrum, right? But your essence is your essence. Where you vibrate at your most authentic frequency, it's a certain frequency, and that frequency or that vibration resonates out to everything else that's in alignment with that. That frequency is also unique to you. Mine's slightly different than yours, which is slightly different than yours. That's how, as a light being, I can distinguish the difference between Richard and Dee. I can sense their energy, their frequency, that natural essence and that vibrational point that they resonate at on their own, which is subtly different than the other one. Our masculine and feminine energy, we're somewhere in the scale is where we naturally reside, but we are all both energies. We operate in both depending on the tasks that we do. So that balance is, it's necessary, and we need to reawaken that feminine energy. So we do this healing. So that's why I changed it to the sacred journey. And besides, I've been saying for such a long time now that there's no division, there's nothing different between any of us, that I see you as a divine being, and that divine being has no humanly constructs or blocks that keep them boxed in. We've got the Seven of Earth. The Seven of Earth is that we've been putting in a lot of work, and sometimes we don't see the results of that work. But today I'm seeing a different message from the card, or at least my guides are saying to give a different, change is happening, to see a different message. This beautiful card, you can see he's looking at the fairy, or you could call it a little angel. There's the bird there. There's so much message and symbolism. And what to me it's saying is how much of our work we've been doing without looking to the magical side of us and our lives, right? Paying attention to our intuition. 4747 on the time when I said that, which would reduce to 1111. Just saying. So the Seven of Earth, this is in this state, it's like your spirit isn't involved in it, or you're not paying attention to your intuition or the signs, or you're not using all of the tools at your disposal, like calling on angels or calling on your spirit guides or asking Source for a demonstration. So this is asking you to pay attention to the messages that you're seeing, and by being guided by those messages, then you'll realize you don't have to work hard. You get to play with your spiritual energy in the mix, and then things just align for you. It's not work. It's meant to be fun. It's meant to be joyful. Perfectly perched. Perfectly perched. And there is an essence of divine timing. That divine timing is exactly what's necessary. I saw the divine masculine thing, and I was like, yep, it is. It is very much so. So how can you connect in with your spirit and allow it to move you in the direction that is meant for you? How can you connect to your guides and angels and ask for assistance in moving you forward, in readopting that co-creative partnership with spirit, right? That's something that we need to look at. Okay. I lost my train of thought there for a second. The channel stopped because I started reading. I was, yes, she is. Yes, she is. All right, let's see what else we have coming up for this collective energy right now. That was quite the stack of cards that came out. I'm just going to look at the one that came out on the bottom. The Eight of Fire. The Eight of Fire is the Eight of Wands. When we start to embrace our divinity and we start playing with life and just enjoying things, and we follow our desires, and we stop giving our attention to the fear and the lack and the puppet show that's out there, giving our attention, or even when we're looking at attention, remember there's different ways that we can give our attention. We give our attention through our energy, through our time, through our money, and through the relationship sectors. Those are our main resources. So what are you, when you switch from what you're looking at to be, you know, the positive, and you align with your authenticity, all of these changes start to happen quickly. Then you start to see victory coming in very quickly, very quickly. Alrighty, what else do we have for this collective reading? This will resonate with anyone who is a star seed or a light worker, a chosen one of the 144, or even just with, you know, changing your mindset, moving from, you know, elevating your vibration to move from that space of victimhood into victorhood. So we've got the Queen of Water. The Queen of Water is a very emotional card. She's asking you to connect in with your emotions, pay attention to your intuition, right? Don't allow somebody to pull your emotions anywhere that you want. You know, some people love the snow and others don't. So I don't allow whatever somebody else's opinion to affect me, right? You're allowed to like things that other people don't like. And yes, I do think that atrocities on humans extend outside of that. This Queen of Waters is asking us to connect with our emotions and feel. I think that right now, because within that masculine energy, the masculine runs the mind. The masculine runs the mind. So the masculine energy, which has us disconnected from our feelings or from the heart, we need to connect back into that. And that Queen of Water is asking us to do so. Okay, so connect into the emotions of the things that are going on. Listen to your intuition. Connect with your spirit guides, right? Allow your emotions to be validated. Look at this. Possibility for union, sky bridge. I think we're calling in divine partners. Another 47. 47 has been huge. 47, 47, 11, 11 is crazy. Yeah. I read your voice. I read in your voice. Whoa. Ooh, this is cool. So we've got the teachability, the hollow bone again. This is that concept of connecting with our ancestors, as well as realizing, ooh, I saw another card. It caught my eye because it was staring right back at me. But we'll get to that in a moment. So teachability, connect with those ancestors, right? Remember the things that you used to know. Can you remember into lifetimes before? Can you remember back that far? Can you connect beyond the veil into that space with your higher self? Are you remembering? What's your knowing telling you about the things that you know, right? If you're here, there's definitely, you've got gifts. You definitely do. I mean, we all do. It's just that if you're here, you're probably in that space of starting to be aware of it, if not very aware. I'm hoping that the people that this message reaches are the people that need it, and are open to hearing it and it resonating. The dream thief. Looking into his eyes. So who's refusing who's refusing the call? That's a sad one, right? That the refusal of the call, we can't afford to refuse the call, but you're completely free choice and able to do so. See, your higher self creates this plan for you. They say, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that because I want to learn this and I want to learn this. And I think that at the end of the day, I can transcend to this point and I can help humanity to evolve and transcend. I can do these things. And this is the mission that I put before myself. And then we get down here and you have absolute freedom of choice and decision. And that's why sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get to that point. And the reason why is, well, because we get scared or we've been conditioned to think that we're not good enough, we're not big enough, we're not capable. Who are you to do that, right? We have all those fears inside of us. And these two cards coming out, oh my God. I love the way the cards work. I love the way the cards work. And thank you for everybody for giving a like. And if you're looking for a reading, you can go to my website, which is mindbodyspirithealthyself.com. It's also linked in my profile. You can go to my website and I do readings, I do healings, I have groups that are raising the vibration together. So many powerful things there. I do healing, I work with trauma, mental health, and just really connecting you to your divinity. 555 on the time there, like it was all the fives. So this dream thief, this refusal of the call, it could be somebody that's come into your life, is distracting you from what you're meant to be doing, right? Sometimes people create diversion, right? You think that that person came into your life for one reason or another, but if you're a light worker and you have a big mission that you've assigned yourself, sometimes those diversions are none other than the dream thief. They've come in to keep your light small and dim so that the people that you're meant to expand and to transcend, that you're not going to connect with them, that you're not going to be able to shine that beacon, that lighthouse, so that people can find you, so that you can help elevate or help them transcend, or help them heal, or help them see their divinity. That's what these dream thieves are. And they can be subtle. They can be subtle like those hours and hours we spend on our phones. Right? Oh, my dog's having a dream. The other day, guys, this is so cute. The other day, he was having a dream and he howled in his dream. I've never heard him howl in his dream before. And he was like, oh, and then he woke himself up. It was so cute. I don't know I wonder where he's traveling to. Maybe he thinks he's a wolf. He's getting his crown. He's getting his crown. He's one of my protectors. All right, so we've got the refusal of the call. So look at the things that are taking and distracting you away from it, right? Because that's what they are. They're distractions. So look at what is distracting you from focusing on the goals or the dream or the call that you have. So I saw that someone had asked about, how do you take the call? So you can connect with somebody like me and I can help you. But in this format, in this forum, I'll just say, sit with your feelings, right? And just sit in space to take the distractions out, right? So if you want, you could sit with me right now. Close your eyes and take that breath into your heart. And just sink into that space. Sink into the center of your being. And when you're there, just feel. Feel what's around you. Any thoughts that come up, just let them be. When you hear a thought, though, see if you can distinguish subtleties between it and other thoughts. Because sometimes a thought will come in and it will sound a little bit higher in vibration, and that thought is your higher self or spirit guide. Stay in that space within yourself, feeling outwardly. Connect into yourself on a daily basis. right? It's one of the best things that you can do as a practice is just connect in and try to feel your higher self, right? Mm-hmm. So the next two cards, we have 44. Look at this beautiful card. Perfect storm. You have the courage, and 44 is the number of angels and guides. So when I was talking about this, you know, this card sitting here confirming that entire message, confirming that we have the courage. We have everything within us that we need. There's nothing outside of you that you need. And I know, you know, we could look at food and air and water and housing and stuff like that. But everything you're going to find is within you, and you have that courage. The courage is there. You are more than just this lifetime. You're more than just this moment. You're more than just whatever you've done up until this point. You're more than all of those things. And one of the things that I know you are is definitely courageous. You don't incarnate in the earth at this point in time if you're not courageous. There's just no way you would choose that. You would not make that choice. You would say, higher self, let's pass. We'll just pass by this. I want none of that. Right? You would choose to go have a life on another planet where maybe, you know, it was much more amiable. You're here because you're a light worker. You're here because you're a starseed, a chosen one, an earth angel. You're here because you're meant to impact society in a great way. There's a spiritual war, and people can, you know, maybe disagree, and fair enough, disagree. But I see that, you know, the fact that Hollywood is full of pedophiles, that, you know, there's people who have billions and billions of dollars, and, you know, our governments are all corrupt. They're killing innocent children, and all in the name of taking land and resources. So to me, that is dark. And if you're not wanting to feed into those machines, whether it's the Hollywood machine, you know, the military complex or industrial or whatever those machines, if you don't want to be feeding into it, you are part of the light meant to change that. You're part of the person that's meant to be a beacon for the souls in society that are about to have their worlds rocked with the information that gets unveiled through this age of Aquarius. You're meant to help to raise the vibration, and you start with you. You start with you. You raise your vibration, and then that impacts the ley lines, that impacts the mycelium network, it impacts the people around you, it impacts the environment. And as you continue to grow and expand that light within you through conversations and interactions and being in your presence, people are going to heal and elevate. You don't have to do anything, they're going to do it. It's being around you that's going to create that. Right? We're all the ones that have it within us. Even as a nurse, I didn't heal you. You healed yourself. The Band-Aid didn't heal you. Your skin healed yourself. It was the platelets that form, that create the fibrin bridge, that, you know, clot the blood, that, you know, creates the scab. So the scab, and then you heal, and it continues to send cells to there to rebuild the structure of your skin. You do it. Not me, not anything else. You're the healer. So everything that gets done from within you. You are the universe in itself. You're so powerful. And this is why we're doing it. We're protecting the future. For many of us, we are ending seven generations of trauma. We're transmuting that pain into love. This dragon's horde, we're protecting the future of Earth. We're here for Mother Earth. She called us. She asked us to come here. She said she needed us. She begged some of us. Some of us, we really needed to be begged. We had to be coerced. Please come. We heard her cries. We heard her tears. We knew, like, this is a big moment, and we had to, because we couldn't stand by idly and just allow it to be consumed. Right? So you're here for that. You're here for that. And all you need to do is remember. 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 Right? Cass is nudging the table. Thought you were going to go for your wee. Denise, I thought there was going to be a little bit of a wee. Let's see what the wee card is. Inner Earth. Look at this. Talking about the earth. Base chakra. Strength and security. Laying foundations. And we're building foundations. So I don't know how many of you guys know me that are going to interact with this video, that have sat in conversation with me like some of my followers and viewers currently have. We're in a collective, the Mind, Body, Spirit, Healthy Collective. But what this is talking about is laying foundations. I'm in more groups that are creating new communities and collectives. It's absolutely incredible how many people right now are busy working to create the new earth that's going to unfold for us. We're not giving our attention to the machine that is dying now. We're giving our attention to the new earth, what's coming forward, what's coming for us. So we're starting to ground in. We're starting to connect into Mother Earth. We're starting to connect to the core of her. We're sending out all of these beautiful energies and healing energies. We are raising our vibration, raising the vibration of other people, impacting, like I said, the mycelium network. We are impacting the water systems. We're impacting the trees. We're impacting so much in our environment by what we're doing. And this is creating strength, and this is creating security for us as well. It is so powerful right now. So we're laying the foundations for this new earth, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. What else do we get, Spirit? What else does the collective need to hear? Ancestral relief, like the ancestral realm. This is like karmic release, right? We're healing the lineage, but we have to put boundaries in place. We really do. Not everybody gets access to us, right? When you're raising your vibration, you raise people up with you. If they don't raise up with you, you don't go back down where they are. So this is the boundaries that you need to put in. You need to put boundaries in for what you're consuming, what you're listening to, what you're eating, and consuming is everything, and put on your skin and everything else. It's just absolutely beautiful. And it's such a wonderful, loving, healing environment. And I can't believe how much growth has happened within the group in the time that we've been there, and the way that everybody supports everybody. It's not one person, it's a circle. Like, we're all sitting at the same table. Nobody is above anybody. It is a space that is safe. It's full of love, and everybody is welcome. So, of course, we get the I am presence card at that time. I am presence. And yes, you are. Your presence is a present. And being in the present is a presence. It is so beautiful. So this is a light body activation that we're going to have. And it means that we are going to be assessing the divine within. What did we just accessing the divine within. What did we just do? I just closed my eyes and I got you to connect into your divinity, to connect into who you are at the center of your being, to connect to that energy, that light, and maybe even pull back further than that. You're more than this body, and you're more than just that bit of light that's in you. You're this divine being that's connected to the source of all. It's such a beautiful space. I hope you went there with me. So there's going to be a light body activation, and I feel my ears ringing, like it's really actually bothering me at that level. I'm going to need to say something. But I think what the cards are showing us is that this message is being channeled. The cards are just corroborating with the message, because we just did that before I spoke about it. right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use these two cards today. We've got this beautiful golden yellow and this beautiful purple energy of the violet flame. So the I am presence is the light body activation, and the chamber of the violet flame is about healing and release. So this is a radical transformation and activation. Yes, you're very connected. Very connected. So we'll do those cards. We'll connect in with what the cards say and how to connect in. But I'm gonna do a little channel / activation. And yeah, welcome to the new YouTube channel. And if you're somebody that's been following me on TikTok, welcome here. TikTok will be reserved for Tuesdays with Tarot Tuesday and Thursdays with Transformation Thursday. But I'm gonna do more long format reads and channeled messages with activations and healings on the YouTube channel. And currently, at least it's starting out this way, we'll be still doing it 5 days a week here, but I may at some point reduce that back. And we'll just see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. Maybe Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, we'll just have the YouTube, but we'll see. Don't be afraid to change, right? Don't be afraid to change things and look at what works for you, and make sure that the energy that you're putting out there is being reciprocated, because if you're giving out a lot of energy and you're not refilling your tank, guess what happens? Burnout, right? Burnout. I just feel right now that I'm ready to completely be seen, right? We're doing that, so let's be seen together. This is a safe space for you to show yourself. So for the violet flame one, we're going to visualize a fiery violet light streaming down from the heavens and washing over your entire life. Set the intention that you are willing to transmute all fear and experience light once more. So that's why I chose this card first. We get to go through that, and then the light body activation. But I'm going to do this, and we're going to do we're going to do some work together with the purple flame with the violet flame as well. So when you receive this card, know that the violet flame of transformation has been brought to you by your angels and guides. I feel like I'm the violet flame of transformation for some of you. They are encouraging you to see that you are in a space of radical transformation. Transformation can be overwhelming, but know the hand of the divine is leading the way. All past trauma is now being cleared from your energy. Stay focused on releasing all of the energies that are no longer serving you. The violet flame is here to transmute fear into love. If any fear is rising up inside you, know that is simply a call for love. Call in the strongest form of love you know, and allow those in your inner circle to support you through this transformational time. You are an alchemist with the capacity to take all the leaden aspects of your life and turn them into golden opportunities. I can feel you, Richard. You align your life with the divine plan now and live in a more purposeful way. And like, could I not have picked the best card to read? I'm just the beaming feeling, it's like yeah, so much energy through that. Yeah, but we had a conversation about this morning, Richard and I did. We talked about alchemy, and we talked about we don't need money because we're going to transmute things into gold. And here we are. And also, hi, I'm the Transformation Alchemist. I love how the message talked about being a transformation and alchemy. So this is beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to read the I am presence card, and then I'm going to do our little activation thing. Okay, we'll do it. It's going to be big. When I say it's going to be little, prepare. But we'll lead you in that direction as well. All right. So the I am presence one, I'm going to read the connect. Please follow along with this connect one, especially for those of you that are feeling a little bit disconnected from their presence. Okay? So place your hands on your heart and your belly. I know you can't see down low enough. I mean, you can see me padding if I lift up here. So your heart and your so I'm heart and solar plexus. Actually, I'm going to do this. Okay? So your solar plexus is here and your heart chakra is here. This is the masculine energy center currently, and this is the feminine energy center currently. The right side, this is my right, although it's probably, it might be an inverted for you. So this is my left. The left is the feminine, so I place that on my heart. The right is the masculine, so I place that over my solar plexus. Okay? I call forth, this is what you're going to say. I have to bring it closer because I can't read it that far away. All right, so we're going to do this together. I call forth from the core of my being the mighty I am presence. Great universal cosmonaut, star being, star power, thank you for standing at the forefront of my heart and mind. Thank you for leading the way with your divine intelligence. Okay? That's not our activation. I'm just getting you to do what the cards are doing. Okay? I might have to open the window again. I don't know. I'm just like bringing the light. We're bringing the light, guys. We're bringing the light. So you are experiencing a great shift, which is helping you understand yourself in ways that were previously impossible. This is an exciting time. You are connecting with the highest form of intelligence within you. The body of light within you is growing brighter, and you are becoming aware of how your actions and choices affect the unfolding of your future. The bright light you are is expressing itself unapologetically. Right? Please shine brightly. Please shine brightly. Please, the world needs you. The world needs you. Okay, so let's do some transmutation on, let's do some energy work, and we're going to work with these two. Okay, so first we're going to invoke the violet flame to cleanse us, to release the karmic stuff. This one here. Then we're going to channel some divine light into us, and I'm going to probably speak light language at that point in time. I'm just feeling like that's going to come up, 7744 on the time there. And the other thing that we're going to do at the very end of that, after we connect to the I am presence and we increase that light body, we are going to invoke the purple flame, but we are going to invoke this, and we're going to picture the earth being surrounded by this purple flame. So we're going to be calling on Saint Germain. Saint Germain is going to be bringing in some powerful people, and we'll see who shows up. I know that, yeah, he's packing. He is bringing people. So I can feel him. All right, so let's start this. So the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is make sure that our stuff is safe, so that if we close our eye or our hand loosens, we're not going to drop our phone. We're going to make sure that if we get really relaxed and we're not going to fall off our chair. So make sure that you're in a space that's good, because I don't know how you're going to react to this. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to very clearly set the intention that everything that we're doing with this energy work is in the highest good of ourselves and the highest good of the collective, right? We don't do anything that is isn't being consented, but this is a cleansing that they are going to do for a lot of the societal karmic cleanse is what we're going to do. It's societal cleansing. So we're authorized to help society transmute trauma, because we are all parts of society. I can't go in and heal you individually, but doing this is why I'm giving you that understanding that that's the distinguishing factor. We're working on the collective karmic trauma, not individual. To do individual, you need to get consent, and if you don't, then you're going to get karma. Just putting that in your wheelhouse, so make sure. Alrighty, so the next thing that we're going to do, now that we've got all of our stuff sat in a safe space, I'm going to hold this up here for you to have a focal point, although with the focal point, I hope your eyes are going to be closed. But just see that purple flame to begin with and embody that color for yourself, so that when you call it in, you're going to be calling in that purple flame, that violet flame. So what I want you to do now is we're going to root ourselves in. We're going to ground in by our root chakra. This is at the base of your spine. What we're going to do is send out energetic roots far and wide, connecting in with that mycelium network, connecting into the trees and the plants. This feeds the water supply. It feeds the animals through the water supplies and all the plantation that they eat, which then those animals that are consumed by carnivores, they feed them through that chain. So it's a chain, right? We're connecting into that whole life system that's on Earth. The main taproot that comes out, which if you are familiar with the roots of a tree, there's a main taproot. This taproot is the supplier of energy in an upward direction. It's how the root really draws the water in for the tree. So this taproot for us, we're going to send that all the way down to the heart of Mother Earth and connect with her. The difference between our taproot and the taproot in a tree is that we really, really can send it back and forth. And I'm certain that the tree can too. So we're allowed ourselves to connect in to the network far and wide and the taproot all the way down to Mother Earth. The next connection is through the crown chakra. So from this, we're going to extend an energetic cord that is going to connect to source energy. And you can call source energy the universe, you can call it creator, God, Allah, Buddha, whatever you resonate with. I like to think the source of all creation. I think God, creator, but those are my upbringings. I was brought up in a lot of Christian ways, so God resonates. My Mohawk would be creator, and source resonates to me as well. So we're connecting into that space, and once we've connected in, we are between heaven and earth. We are being supported by the physical plane and the spiritual plane, because we are body and soul. So now we are connected to both. Being connected to source, we can allow for that connection to bring us beautiful source energy. This can heal and cleanse and purify. It's unconditional love and bliss, creative energy. So we can allow that to pour through our chakra system, that central tube, through our crown, our third eye, through our throat and our heart, through our solar plexus and our sacral, and down to our root, where it goes through the root system into the earth and down, all the way to the heart of the Mother Earth, through our root chakra. We can sit within that space, balanced between sending that healing energy through us. This is not coming from us. And as we allow that energy to flow through us, healing, cleansing, and purifying Mother Earth, and us being very supported as well, we are going to allow that energy to flow through all the meridians, all the way down to our hand and feet chakras, all the way to the fingertips, up into our head. We're just full of this divine light. this beautiful, pure source energy. Our chakras, each one of them, are filled full of this light. We are filled full of energy. Now we're going to call on Saint Germain, and we're going to ask Saint Germain to bring the power of the violet flame to transmute our karma into love. And we're going to see this flame fill our entire field of vision. Our eyes are bathed in violet. The fire is in us and around us. It fills up our life with this purple flame, cleansing all of the karma that is ready to be released. And the key point is ready to be released. Nothing that's being done now will go against anything that is necessary for you to experience. Sit within this flame for a moment, allowing it to cleanse, knowing that time is an illusion. So sitting here for a moment can be extended for a very long time. It doesn't just involve this moment. And this is the flame that we are going to use to work on society's collective trauma. But before we do that, we are going to download some codes that are going to remind us of the light being that we are. And as these codes are being downloaded, you see the central sun of yourself, that pivotal point which connects to your soul and your spirit. You see that getting bigger and bigger, growing brighter and brighter, as this ball of light extends beyond your toroidal field. That beautiful light is resonating out into the universe, calling to you what you're meant to receive. All the things that are in alignment with you. The perfect space to work in, although we don't like the word work. We like to play with our passion and our purpose. Having clarity on that. Being able to connect to your higher self and your guides. Having beautiful partnerships and relationships. Connecting to your soul family. Your beautiful soul spark, when it radiates and expands, when it vibrates out, it's a calling card, asking those things to come to you. Dushkore si anasha pusu, naiko tore si anasha iko nani pushure si, Dushkore si anasai pusu, kanai shai ponai si kashai sunare pushinai, nai shai si. Bushkore si na shai kusu, bushkore si anasai ku tore si. As your energy extends further and further out, it connects with ours. We start to connect in these beautiful lights, these beautiful chains, creating a web around the earth. We're going to send that violet flame to surround the earth and ask Saint Germain to help transmute the society's karmic traumas, all of the stuff that collectively we have been struggling with, whatever is ready to be released, we call on Saint Germain and ask the violet flame transmute that into love. See the world, if you can picture the globe sitting inside a violet flame. And even if you see the earth is flat with a firmament, see that inside the violet flame. There's no division, there's no hate. You are free to believe what you believe. What we care about here is how you show up. That this is a loving and respectful space. Allow that violet flame to purify and cleanse. Dushkore si anashai mosore, kashai kore si kai shanai, bushare si, dashkai sanai pushanai si, aikure si anai kapushanai si. Dushko su na shai samu kusure si putore si taskanai shapurai si kapushu manai si. Send the light out around the world. Remember, remember. Remember, we are all one. And when you're ready, you're just going to focus back onto your physical form. You can keep yourself connected within those energetic spaces between Source, God, Creator, and Mother Earth, staying connected and allowing that to channel through you if you'd like for a little while longer. Allow your essence to radiate outwardly, a beautiful golden light shining so bright so that others can find you. And allow the remembering to deepen and for you to connect more with who you are, who we all are. And when you're ready, you can come back to this space and time by moving your body, wiggling your toes and fingers, and then opening your eyes. And then we can always talk about how that felt. It was a very quiet one. I forgot to turn music on today. But I guess we were bringing the peace. The light is here, the sun is shining. I know, it was shining so bright here, which was beautiful. I didn't even drink any tea, guys. That's how captivated I was with the whole day today. And we went to almost 1 o'clock. We didn't even make it in the group yet. So let's, lots of love here. Lots of love. I hope that you enjoyed that. If there's someone that you know that you think should experience that, definitely send them the link. So we are moving now to the Mind, Body, Spirit Healthy Collective, where we will deepen the conversation and connect in a beautiful sacred space where everyone is welcome. So if you're looking for a safe space that will welcome you, if you identify as, someone who has, is experiencing a spiritual awakening and healing and, all of those good things, then this could be the environment that you're looking for. I love you, and I will see you there if you're coming with me, and if not, I'll see you back here probably tomorrow. Mwah.